Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys enjoying my videos on Java tutorial. In last lesson we learned about for loop, and for this lesson we're gonna go ahead and do a do while loop and while loop. Java while loop is a control flow statement that allow code to execute repeatedly based on the given boolean condition. So we've been using boolean condition on our for loop as well, and also if statement. So if the number of iteration is not fixed, so previously on the for loop we already knew how many times we want to iterate the block of code. But if your iteration of the code is not fixed, if you don't know how many times your block of code should be executed, then the while loop is really a good option for that. So for the syntax for while loop is really simple. So you can write the while keyword and given parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis the condition will go here, conditions, and then whatever the block of code you need to execute will be inside the bracket. You can see here the curly bracket. So I can give to do in here. So okay, let's go ahead and do, create our first program to print the number from 1 to 10. Let's say while I is smaller than equals to 10. Let me give you space in between. Smaller than equals to 10, but we haven't initialized the I. So let's go ahead and initialize the I. Integer I equals to 1. Now what if this condition match? Then if that condition matches, then we're going to go ahead and create, we're going to print I in there, and then we have to do I plus plus, so we're going to increase the I by 1 every time. Let's go ahead and run the program and see print number from 1 to 10. As you can see here on the terminal below, it gave me the 1 2 3 4 till 10, and it gave me extra line because I have given the new line every time. If you want to give the break, like if you just want it to run single time, then instead of running for 10 times, then you can just do break in here. As we already know about the break, then we also used this in our last lesson. So let's go ahead and run the program one more time and see how many times it's going to iterate. So this time you can see it just iterated once because we gave break on line 17. With the single execution of the code, we break the line and the program ends. So when you give the condition here, you don't know how many times you want to iterate, right? So best you can get the number till 10, 100. You can also calculate the prime number between and give the conditions down here to calculate the prime numbers. So everything is possible. A simple easy loop. Similarly, we're going to go ahead and see the do while loop. So do while loop, it's a little bit different syntax than the while loop, and a little bit different in iteration process as well than in comparison with the while loop. So note, you have to remember one thing. So note, you have to understand one very simple thing in the do while loop. Java do while loop is exit control loop. So this is exit control loop, where in our while loop there is no exit control. So once we give the condition till the condition match, it's gonna continuously run the program. But in the do while, it has the condition exit control loop. So one thing you have to know in the do while loop is there's a note in here on the line 26. You can read the note as well. So without condition matched or not, before the condition is even checked for the iteration, block of the code will run at least one time in the do while loop, which means doesn't matter what condition you gave, but single time for the first iteration, it's gonna run the whole block of line of code, and then only is gonna check for the conditions to iterate your program. Let's see the syntax of it. Do, and out of this one here while, and the condition will go inside here. So this is the condition here. You can see the syntax, there's a small difference in syntax between while loop and the do while loop. The do will go first and then the condition will go at the end. So inside the do, you will give whatever you have to give the code, and inside the condition you're gonna give the condition just like we did in the while. So I is smaller than equals to 10, I'm going to give the same condition. as we already initialized the I in here, comment out this one so that we don't have to run this, so that this program doesn't run this time. I just comment out the while loop. Now okay, here inside the do, I'm gonna give the conditions. Okay, here I gave the do, and I told the program to print out the I, value of I. So for the first time, as we can see in the line 12, the value of I is 1, and then gradually it's gonna increase, and we're gonna say I equals I plus plus, which means it's gonna raise by 1 every time. And it's gonna be, this block of code inside the do loop will run till the value of I is more than equals to 20. So let's run the program and see. Yes, it's give us the value from 1 till 20. But let me do this. As I say on the note, as I say here, it doesn't matter whatever, without the match of the conditions, it's gonna run at least one time. So let's check this condition. So here I'll give I is greater than 20, so which is not true. The condition is not true. Before the condition was matched, let's see either it's gonna execute or not. Still, even though condition doesn't match in line number 34, whatever we gave, the program execute for one time, and you can see the value 1 here. Because how the do while condition work, the rule and policy of the good do while condition, it doesn't matter either the condition matched or not, but for the one time the program will run. That's the nature of do while loop. So one time it will run, and then only the condition will be checked for the iteration. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please stay tuned. Have a great day.